This is an update to the Pokemon Company lawsuit where they were going after leakers for posting information about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Sources were reporting different things on this, though, so just know some sources were reporting that this was for the Dex cut, but I saw multiple other sources reporting that the lawsuit was actually for leaking upcoming Dynamax Pokemon. If you don't know what Dynamax is, it is a feature added to Sword and Shield where you can basically make the Pokemon larger, and some of them have new forms. So it's something that Pokemon Company is obviously trying to hype up, and I can understand where they're coming from in a sense, but I do think this lawsuit's a bad idea. But before I comment any further, let's take a look at the news. We have Nintendo Everything. We also have Newsweek, but Nintendo Everything is a bit more concise. So let's hop over and see what they're reporting over here. So this is actually, let's hop over to the first write-up. You can see it's pretty short. This is actually the second one, though. The first one, also pretty short. They write, much like previous Pokemon generations, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield were affected by leaks. All of the new creatures, as well as other information, were made public online prior to the launch earlier this month. The Pokemon Company naturally wasn't happy about this and has filed a tentative lawsuit as it looks to track down the original leakers. Perkins Coie, a firm now involved with the case, said in the suit that the leaks had caused a, quote, irreparable injury to the Pokemon Company. As a result, it is entitled to damages in an amount to be proven at trial. The other quote there. 4 Discord users have been identified as leakers so far. The Pokemon Company is now interested in serving subpoenas to Discord and 4chan to help determine who these people actually are and is awaiting the court's decision. And the update is that the court apparently has given them the okay to send those subpoenas out. Very bad news for the leakers. And this seems a bit ridiculous. I'll go into this more in a moment. Let's just finish this up. So the new headline, Pokemon Company given permissions to subpoena Discord and 4chan to identify Sword and Shield leakers. And they write here, we have a brief update on the situation surrounding the Pokemon Sword and Shield leaks and the Pokemon Company's search for the people involved. Earlier in the week, the Pokemon Company was granted the ability to subpoena Discord and 4chan to unmask their identities. Those 2 platforms will be forced to provide any information they have about the implicated subjects. And they recap what we just read. So we're not going to read the recap. That's the latest. Apparently, they have been granted the ability to subpoena Discord and 4chan, as they put it, to unmask their identities. Now, let's talk about this. And I want to see both sides here a little bit. I do think, as I said, this is not the best idea for the Pokemon Company. I think they're going to lose money on this, but perhaps they're trying to set an example, set precedent, don't leak stuff. Now, when it comes to morals of leaking something, I can kind of see both sides. And there's an argument to be made for both sides, I think, too. Like, let's look at it from the Pokemon Company's perspective, though, first, just to be a bit objective here. If they're wanting to hype players up about the game, and they have this new feature, Dynamax and Gigamax. So Gigamax, if you don't know what that is, it's or Gigantamax, I think, actually. It's basically the superior version of Dynamax, but not every Pokemon has a G-Max. They don't all get that. So it's a special form, and they're trying to hype up the releases of certain G-Max Pokemon over the month. For example, they just did a Snorlax event where they released G-Max Snorlax to be caught by the players. So I can understand that when they aren't releasing them all at once and they're trying to kind of have like a slow burn, so to speak, and release it and build hype about it over the months and get players involved and excited for things, I can understand where they're coming from, where they wouldn't want things to get leaked. But at the same time, I can argue that the leakers, in a way, also built hype. Now, of course, the Pokemon Company is saying that this is irreparable injury, so they obviously don't think that this is building hype, and they're not happy about the leaks. Now, of course, there's always the question in a lawsuit if the person suing actually really believes they're in the right, or if they're just trying to win, get easy money because they think they have an easy lawsuit. And I really don't think that's what the Pokemon Company is doing here, because what is this? They're going after like 4 people, 4 leakers. I can't imagine they're going to actually profit off this lawsuit. I don't know how they're going to prove the damages and how they're going to back up irreparable injury. So they're going to have to prove all that. And they have apparently hired forensic experts, which certainly is costly. A lawsuit's costly. Forensic experts are probably quite costly. Sending subpoenas is costly. Then you got to actually involve with everything else. More discovery. The legal process is not a light thing. So I do think this is not necessarily the best idea. Now, I could sit here saying that I think it would be better if they put the money elsewhere, but that's not exactly how the company works. You know, you can't just exactly take money from legal expenses and then reallocate that over to like research and development or something like that. It's a bit more complicated than that. But I do think generally their time and money would be more spent here just coming up with more Gmax Pokemon that haven't been leaked yet, and then working on rolling those out over the months. Again, it's not that simple. You have departments, you have certain budgets for different things, so it's not that simple. But I do think if there was a way to kind of use the time and effort elsewhere, time and money and the effort elsewhere, like making more Gmax Pokemon, that would be better. And I guess let's go back to the other point that I was making. They could be trying to set precedents, set an example for people not to like leak their stuff, in which case it's a little more understandable, but I don't know. I think they're making too big of a deal out of it. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm just trying to kind of see both sides here. And regardless, as I've said, I'll reiterate for the last time here and wrap this up. I do think the lawsuit's a bad idea, but I am doing my best to see both sides of the situation. And I kind of feel bad for the leakers too. Like, I don't know how they got the information, but it's unfortunate that they now have to worry about this. That's a scary thing. I wouldn't want to be getting sued by the Pokemon company. That would probably suck. So, best to every party involved. I don't know what the best solution is here, but hopefully the best solution gets taken, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. If there's any further updates, I will let you know. I'll make an update video, but this is where the litigation is at the moment, and we'll see how things play out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider sharing the video. That helps out immensely. Commenting down below also helps out, and or hitting the thumbs up button and taking a look to see if you're still subscribed to the channel. And if you like this channel too, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and or becoming a patron or channel member to sponsor the channel. Link in the description for Patreon. Channel member, you just hit that join button right next to the subscribe button if you see it. So pretty nifty stuff. And now I got some shout outs for the awesome people who promoted the last two videos over on Twitter. It's for yesterday's Rooster Teeth and yesterday's Pokemon/Star Wars video. Yes, Pokemon/Star Wars. Never thought I would be making a video like that. But shouts out to Super Speed 21YT, Ishra, Lazword, Azure 1, Johnny the Wiz Kid, Code X, Deshaun Miller, Phantom Ravenwood, Sean, and then we got John Edwards, Coden X, Enigma, Tad the Black Mage, Phantom Ravenwood, some guy called Goober, Namric Istos, Super Speed 21YT, Ishra, Don, Andrew Edwards, Donovan Solvik, 9 days till Christmas. Is it really 9 days or even less now? I don't even know. That's crazy. Aaron Francis, the Lancaster Kid, Jesse Benson, Anna Ravenheart, Charza Kitsune. Thank you all very much. Glad you enjoyed. I hope you also enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.